Moyo kwa ganga program moli nze nyombi Mahmoud ndine kanso limba zilias na kola tukote tutunulira ensonga ziriwo ziri mu kugatta ekitongole kya Uganda Coffee Development Authority okuzigatta munda mu ministry ya agriculture oluvannyuma lw'enteekateeka za gavumenti okugatta ebitongole ebisinga bya gavumenti okubeera wansi wa ministry ennene okukendeeza ku muwendo ogw'ensimbi ezisaasaanyizibwa n'ebirala. Tubadde tutunulira impact, tubadde tutunulira kitegeeza obulungi oba oliawo n'obubi obuyinza okukibeeramu ku lw'abalimi b'emmwanyi. Kanso abadde agamba nti okugatta ekitongole kino kayinza okuba kagenderere okunafuya oba okwavuwaza abantu. Nembuuza nti gavumenti zonna zikolera ku kulaakulanya abantu nakuba bulungi. Enteekateeka esobola okubeera deliberate ey'okuavuwaza abantu. Kanso
esobola omanyi politician wanjawulo ku leader
politician
munnabyabufuzi ayawukana nnyo ku mukulembeze. Munnabyabufuzi aba atunuulira kulonda okuddako awangula atya ekisaanye ekiddako, kyokka ate omukulembeze aba atunuulira generations to come. So omukulembeze tafaayo ne bw'aba nga tafunamu. Munnabyabufuzi afaayo kuba aba ayagala kuwangula. Kyova olaba munnabyabufuzi tayogera bituufu emirundi mingi, wabula ayogera gwe by'oba oyagala okuwulira. Asobola kibeerawo ssebo nga kigenderere abo tubaavuwaze. Towulirangako ng'oli agamba nti oyo gwe mwalondanga Lord Mayor mwalonda ayasigaza bijegere nakiyiwamu amazzi. Kanguwa ebigambo bino. Ebintu bingi ebize biteekebwawo General Museveni mu kiseera kye nga ye pulezidenti n'amala n'abirya n'abimalawo. Etteeka ly'ettaka oliraba eryo mulimu babigulira gwe babigulira
Binade manyiti nze nzeka.
Ekyokubiri bw'otunuulira ng'etteeka ly'enkugamba erya Land Act bwe bagamba District Land Tribunals zikola, bwe ziba tezikola mu mulembe gwani mwe zitakolera, ani alemereddwa okulaba nga zikola? General Museveni si yali mu buyinza n'ebintu ebirala bingi ebize biba. Omanyi revolution etuuka n'erwala amakiro. Nakugamba Abaganda bawanuuza nti singa omukazi abanga ali lubuto n'abaliga azaala omwana n'amulya ng'alwadde obulwadde bwe bayita amakiro, kale nabwe ekito gavumenti yennyini gwe gye mugamba nti eno yaleeta revolution, yaleeta enkyukakyuka ssejjoloola, yaleeta enkyukakyuka ey'omugunu, byezeekola ezeemala n'ebikola n'ebijjawo. Etteeka ly'e Kampala eryatondawo Kampala Capital City Authority teryakolebwa mu kiseera kya General Museveni. Gw'oyinza otya nga kubanga gwafuga n'ogamba nti njagala njabulula obuyinza bw'oyo aba atudde mu ntebe ya Lord Mayor. Gw'olabayo kibuga ki mu nsi muno bukyobaawo ekirina nga kirina Lord Mayor ate nga kirina minisita n'omubeezi bonna nga ba Kampala, ate nga kirina executive director. Kati ani political head wa Kampala? Minisita okuva eri mu kabineti oba Mayor alondeddwa bannansi? So ebintu bino byewuunyisa ddala ensimbi y'omusolo n'esaasaana ne mulonda loodi meeya ku buwanana naye ate loodi meeya gwe mulonze n'aba nga agibwako obuyinza ng'ate olina kudduka wa minisita ate yalondebwa pulezidenti n'ojjawo kino ekyayita mu direct democracy n'ofeebya oba ontegeera so Haji Nyombi waliwo ekikyamu mu ggwanga lino bintu byenkugamba bya ddala ekiseera ekyayita ggwanga lyali gagga gavumenti yali ngagga nti ne bwe beekalakaasa mwalinga mwe abavuga takisi n'ebirala nga ne bwe muba mwekalakaasizza gavumenti esobola okuggyayo emmotoka zaayo n'eyamba bannansi temumanyi nti waliwo UTC waliyo n'ekitongole ekirala nga bakiyita UCTU nga nabo batambuza ebineni ebyamaguzi eyo yali nteekateeka ekulaga nti ddala tulina bye tukola bye tuproducinga era nga tulina obitambuza olwaleero biri ludda olwaleero n'amala akomawo Amini yeewuunya nga ministers village mulimu bantu balala mwalingamu abannansi ng'okyalinayo baminisita gye basula nyina mukwano gwange omulangira Jjuuko w'Ekawempe nyina yali minisita w'education basulanga mu ministers village era bw'otuula naye akunyumiza baali baana bato nga nyaabwe alidde obwa minisita baminisita basula
bwafuuka nga minisita nga bakuwu
walingawo kye baayitanga doctors village abasawo gye basula kati kankubulira ebimu ku byali mu ggwanga lino bwe mwalabanga ng'eggwanga erimu libafuze bubi katugamba abalango bafuga ng'abakyoli bwe baba bateekateeka okujja nga bagamba abo bajja kuvaawo ekkololaawo naffe tusulewo abalango bwe bajja abakyoli bwe bajja abalango ne badduka naye nga balekawo ebyobugagga byaki bya gavumenti wakyaliwo tebabyeguza
ekyokuteeka nti abasawo basula wano baminisita kyayambanga kitya
anti kakati ezo ze bayita working conditions embeera abakozi mwe bakolera ennungi oli oba osobola bulungi okubanga omuteekako omusaba obuweereza obulungi nga naye naawe olaba omutegekedde oba omufuna omusomesa bw'abanga anaasomesa asaana abeere n'ennoni nga wasomeseza walungi emusaala gwe nga gujja bw'amala okusomesa n'agenda mu sitafumu ng'asobola okunywa kacaayi nga kuliko omugaati kale ne bw'aba muwogo omusiike naye nga waali n'ensula erina okuba nga nnungi naye olwaleero osanga omusomesa afuna $45,000 naye alina ekirooto ayagala azaala omwana amusomese omwana afuuke nga nalukoola nga yasoma obwa looya naye ku $45,000 oyinza otya okuweererako omwana okufuuka looya nga ne woosula opangisawo bupangisa gavumenti ziri ezaayita kyezaava zikolanga ebintu ebyo okuzimbira abasawo amayumba okuzimbira abasomesa okuteekateeka ebintu nga weebiri kati tewali parasitetozi zino z'ogamba tugatte ye twalizigasse singa tumanyi nti eri waliyo obukugu naye ogenda kukwata ekitongole nga Uganda Coffee Development Authority okibulize mu mpeereza embi eri mu gavumenti yo naawe gy'omanyi obulungi watava kantu obubbi obw'amaanyi gwe kikyotamanya Haji Nyombi okujjako ng'ogenderedde kutunafuya kyekikuleetesa amateeka ago tewali nsonga ndala Haji Nyombi ti bano tebafugika baabo balonda Nakyagulanyi tebannonda ebyo ebiruubirirwa tewali kirala Haji Nyombi amateeka mabi etteeka libi eryo erigenderera okusattulula okuggyawo ekitongole ekyo kigatta mu ministry ya agriculture kigenderedde kufeebya mwanyi kuba ekitongole kiri ku mwanyi yokka wano si wakisoose okubeera bwe tufunye omukwesese anti omugagga aba yeerowooleza omugagga asalawo abaavu bazibu kubanga abaavu tosobola bakyusa kubazza wala omwavu abeera ayagala ebyawo ku ssaawa eyo kuba omuntu tosobola mugamba bintu bya generations ezijja agamba sooka ompa omutwalo ogwo kuba njagala nakugenda kugula kyakulya kya leero naye omuntu eyeerimidde mwanyi ye n'agaggawala Haji Nyombi olina by'otasobola mugamba n'abitwala, asobola okutegeera ne yeesalirawo. Naye obwavu bukuleetera okubulwa enteekateeka etegeerekeka. Oli n'akufugira awo akuleetera akabaasa akakaki nga mulimu emitwalo 5 n'omwenyo okuva kuno n'eri ng'olabira ddala kyakuwadde makula kuba oludde okufuna. Gwe njagala kukubuulira ne bw'aliba omukyala wo bw'amala n'agaggawala bw'ati ne bagaba n'ebyobugagga bya jjajjaawe ne bagamba nti bwe tutunze gwe ofunye miliyoni 10.
Yakola atya? Gwe
musajja wattu ng'olina kapito wa miliyoni 8 aba akyakwebuuzaako ki? Agamba naye nze omukyala afuga emiliyoni ekikumi. Ba political cowards tebaagala bantu kugaggawala. Naddala ng'oludde mu buyinza n'olemeramu byonna bye walimba nga wabirimba, otuuka ekiseera nga tokyalina gy'odda, ng'otuuse kwonoona byaleetebwa ebiriwo. Naye nze njagala okusinziira wano ŋŋambe bannayuganda naddala abato temuggwaamu ssuubi. Mbabuulira kati kiseera kya kwewandiisa, okimanyi bawandiisa ndagamuntu. Mmwe naddala abavubuka mugende mwewandiisa, obudde butuuse mubeere nga mwe abali mu buyinza. You take charge of your country. Mulabye abasosoze mu mawanga abatatwagala tukugaggawala. Obudde butuuse musalewo mmwe nga bannayuganda naddala mmwe abavubuka yonna gye muli. Eyo mwankole ebukeddiya eyo mwakyolyerango n'ewalala mugende mwewandiise. Mwewandiise ye mmwe abalina okutwala obuvunaanyizibwa bw'eggwanga lino. Obudde katikati bwe budde. The time is now. Mwabadde mulina okukyusa eggwanga lyammwe eggulo bwe liba lwagenze. Obudde obuddako obutuufu bwe buno mwewandiise. Mubeere mu bitabo ebyo, mubeere mu regisita y'abalonzi y'Electoral Commission. Mubeere nga musobola okulonda. Okulonda kukulu nnyo, lyekkubo lye mulina okuyitamu okwolesa obutali bumativu bwammwe mu nfuga embi eno ekolebwa General Museveni ne banne nga Anita nga abasosoze mu mawanga abatatwagala
mutaddeko.
Tewamuwulidde nga gamba Abaganda abo tobakkiriza kufuna numbers. Bw'aba ayagala nange anteekemu abo bakijjanya.
Akuteeke bukutwale mu kooti.
Ate yakijjanyiza abantu.
Ekirungi olina amateeka.
Anteekemu abo bakijjanya nange namulabye akatambi nga koogera bulungi. Ate ne bammemba ba paalamenti abaabaddeyo nabo bajja kutuyambako okwongera omukkatiro oyo omukyala. Ebikolwa bibi nnyo. General Museveni kyusaamu. Gwe ne banno mulabikanga abalina ekkobaane ku mawanga agamu ge mutaagala gagaggawale. Ffe tusobodde okubuulira. Naye gye bali abalala bangi abasirifu abatalina ddoboozi ng'ate binonze byenjogera nabo babiwagira. Bwe mutaakyusa olunaku lwe balisituka mulyewuunya nze mbabuulidde.
Ampuliza kkiriza tugende mu kuwummula bwe tukomawo ogenda kusobola okutwegattako otubulire ekyolowooza ku bino byonna. Layini zaffe zimanyiddwa 0759 07900 ne 0782 3 6 6 759 not ne 0782 3 6 oluvannyuma lwa message zino katukubuulize ekyolowooza ku Bannayuganda.
Temwagala bagamba ng'abasosoze mu mawanga. Ekyo kye yakoze ekintu ekibi
yayokyeza.
Kalwaki obadde tongamba nti bwe mba nkunga abantu bakyoli era wankole njogereko ku luzungu twagala kunnyongera kirungo Kenya National nawe tebalwagala Eziamak Omaja with the Commission for Universities the budget for Kenya National critics abaana bali kuli bayita omunya singa kisimba n'ekyalo kinsobola okubatwala ne balima bakyayagala okulima ennaku zino kyogereko abaana b'ennaku zino tebamanyi na kulima naye omanyi ekigenda okutaasa mu luwummula luno kunjuka kimuzedde yenna anaakuma omwana we mu luwummula nga tayonoonese tabadde ku bya tiktok tebamugamba ebigambo bimwonoona kunjuka ongamba kunjuka gye mwelindirira nsanga mu biseera byange ebyedde kubuli kunjuka lendirira omuntu yenna okunyirira n'atambula nga yeekomesa abamulaba ateekeddwa kozesa products za GPS bano be beewaayo okujjanjaba olususu omubiri n'entwadde zonna ezikuluma nga bakozesa emmere n'eddagala eryafinamu wetaaga skin balancing whitening oba maintenance bajjako obumonde ku matu ensundo oyagala breast
years old, and they are just now beginning.
I followed the 2011 election. I was still in school, and the other elections, and I know that everyone knows that the arrests, the kidnaps, and killings as well have kept growing. For instance, in the last election, at least 54 people died on the streets of Kampala and other parts of the country, and it has been it has kept growing. Many have been dying of other things, but this time round it was a bullet on someone's body and sending them to either hell or heaven. And I know that this is going to grow even much worse this time we're going for the 2026 election.
Why do you think that?
I feel the more the government has gotten into has overstayed in power, there is certainly fatigue that has grown in the people, and the fatigue has brought frustration to them. There is so many, and a big section of this country a big section of people in this country who believe this government should have left power quite a number of years ago, and those are always going to show agitation when we are in a political system, a political season of campaigns, and the government in power will want to hold everything at calm. They want to calm that situation down, and so they will come full force. So when you bring the full force of the people who are the electorate, and then they meet the full force of government power, mercenaries and the army and all the other security agencies, certainly there is going to be an anarchy in all those situations. The reason you're going to see that when one of their political leaders, Bobi Wine, is arrested, they are going to go on the streets and they begin burning tires, they begin demonstrating, demanding that their leader is released. I don't know whether in any election a leader was arrested and there was such an uproar like there was in 2021 November. 2020 November during that campaign. So as journalists, we shiver when this election season comes, because we also are caught in the melee. We also bear the brunt at times. We are arrested, we are beaten, we are hounded, and we are also impeded in terms of our freedoms of expression and
disseminating.
Absolutely, you have no any other thing to predict other than doom in this country because of what has happened before and what's going to happen.
Honorable Munamatteeka, your NUP, do you think there's space for campaigns for members of the NUP, or you're looking at getting ready for more abductions, more arrests, more incarceration?
The question would be, who provides the space? The beauty of all we are going through is, I think now...
Someone might say, who's provided the space for you to be here now? Because you are here and speaking.
Politically out there, because if you say the space, who provides it? Constitutionally, I have the space. The people provide the space. The space that you should have as the NRM is the same space the opposition should have. But the beauty is that at least people know what is happening. The people will provide us the space. And we shall fight for it. We shall fight for it. And Lydia has told you, politics is not for the faint-hearted. We shall fight for it. But why do we get to that level? Why? Because if you respect a multi-party dispensation, why don't you give space to all the participants? The winner takes it all. So do we have to fight that much? She knows politics is about numbers and tactics. Let us use the teams that we do have, bring out good manifestos, and compete fairly. I know our colleagues cannot give that environment because they think they have the army, they have the police. They've turned it into an NRM army. And that is where we are disappointed. So as we do go through all this, I would like to implore Ugandans, get interested in how politics in this country goes. Don't leave it to a few. People think it is only, you know.
Maybe we fear prison.
No, how? Then who will go in prison on your behalf? Who will go there?
19 people have been in prison for 2 years.
So you will not have leaders? Then if you fear prison, then shall we ever have a country without leaders? So please join the politics. Join the politics. Let us fight together to have sanity in our country. Leadership is not for the faint-hearted. We might fight so hard, but I know God is good. That the NRM, every day that goes by, their space is shrinking. Every day that goes by, the space is shrinking because they can no longer provide basic services to the community. So I just implore the leaders that let's not misuse power. And they should not get, you know, they are so fearful that could be when another government comes in, we shall also do what they have been doing. I want to comfort her that we shall not get to their level. They should be comforted, I mean, hand over power peacefully so that we can live a peaceful country. Yes.
You see, I've said here before that we don't have opposition in Uganda, and I've paid the price for it. Oscar, you know. If you are in opposition, you should be better than your NRMs. I know Uganda has districts and areas and who have elected people from opposition. But you are worse than NRM in terms of service delivery, in terms of accountability. So I want really to applaud you people who think, who have so much venom against NRM as a party. I want you to unveil, lift the veil and look at the people across board. We just need good leaders. If Namuga you thought that because we are NRM we are bad, then we should be having districts which are led by opposition performing miracles, because the budget that you allocate does not have colors. Mbale district or the city receive the same money like Masaka city and Masaka district or Rwengo or Lira, but go there and ask about accountability. Okay? Projects are not moving, schools are not finished, health centers are not working, staff are not. Why haven't you people who are in opposition and have taken over leadership? People have taken their vote. You are leaders in those districts. Why aren't your districts shining better than those that are led by NRA? It's a scorecard. And then even at Parliament, we sit here and witness how divided and how derailed you are. If you are opposition and you are better, please do not just talk about it. That's why for me, I don't really look at colors. I look at performance, I look at leaders. Our country, we thought that we'd use the colors as vehicles to deliver good leaders. It's not working, but at least you have a window to get good across the board. If you Namuga, you are good, I'm not going to look at your color. I'm going to look at the leader that is good. But thinking about colors, I think by now you should know. You should bring us and say, this district is led by members of parliament from opposition and the chairman and the councillors. This is how we have delivered. This is the difference between this district that is led by the opposition and this which is led by. Because at the end of the day, delivery is in the village, in the parish, in the sub-county. So that's why it should be reflected. That's why the mirror should come from. And wait for 2026. I can talk here without any fear of contradiction. NRM is going to win 98%. Why? Because they got excited and voted opposition in some areas. They have received the worst support or delivery. They are going to come back. My plea now is to make sure that with the NRM people we elect are really good leaders. They are not just the yellow color. They are good leaders. They have a calling in leader. They are passionate and they are empathetic about service delivery. That's what we want to see.
Lydia, I want to go a little bit backwards on a question to you. And you remember you've been an electoral officer in the NRM party. When
I was the commissioner of the NRM Electoral Commission and the head of petitions, the legal officer for petitions in the party. Okay. So for 10 years.
Yes. So when you have NRM primaries, I have noticed.
We've just had the NRM primaries in Kisoro, and the Honorable Rose Kabagenya has got the flag. I want to congratulate the Kisoro people for voting.
I'm still trying to squeeze in the question. So when we have NRM primaries, apart from this last one, they are very bloody. You know, we've seen violence.
Which last kicking.
One? This the one leaders.
Yeah, that one.
But they are bloody. They fight. So how come the ones for NRM never get arrested? They never get incarcerated.
You see the primaries. The primaries in the NRM
is it
party.
allowed for NRM primaries for them to fight each other?
We keep improving. It's not a fight. It's competition.
Oh, I have videos I can show you.
I can give an example of Sembabule, where one gangster here comes from.
Yes.
It is competitive
I'll give
because
an
in some of the areas, let me tell
where
you,
a lady here comes from.
No, I come from Mbale City.
I can give you an example. I have videos
I come from
of how
Mbale
that one was kicking basins and so on.
Yeah,
how come the ladies
the
were not
NRM
arrested?
primaries are very competitive.
And
the reason, so,
and they can
wait,
be violent.
And they can be
Violent.
they can be out of hand.
Yeah.
But the reason, but then I want to say that we keep improving, because then we learn lessons. But the reason why they are very competitive in some of the areas, I may not mention the regions, really that is the election. Because in some areas, when you win NRM flag, you are done. Your one leg is already in parliament. In some areas, like where I come from, it's actually maybe the eye or the finger, because you still have another war. But what has happened in the past, that actually all people that to go for primaries, again come back. You can have the flag, but then others also come back as independents. So what are we doing? Is that Munamatteeka in Uganda has not yet been able to find its route, because we began Munamatteeka, at least for this time around, in 2005, following the referendum, for which I actually participated because I'm a founding member of the NRM party. But we've been struggling between balancing discipline, putting a tight system in place, but at the end of the day delivering competitive candidates in an election. So this is not a cup of tea, but it is work in progress. And in many times we want people to we even change the system. You know, when we had the delegates elections, what we call electoral colleges, people began hiding voters. You would find someone taking 4 buses, they hide them. So we got away from that and said, now let's have you must separate, but also people lining, so that you can see a line and say this one has one. So with now we have even digitized. This by-election in Chisoro, it was testing our register. The biggest issue is also a good register. So in Chisoro, we were able to test a register for the whole district. We will want to digitize it and make sure that with digital and with these cameras, we are able to reduce conflict, but also be more transparent. People have a believable primary. So ours is work in progress. It may sound shabby, but we are on it, because it's the only way we'll be able to deliver candidates that are competitive. And that's why we are now thinking of actually the way we are seeing the country moving, because you cannot just dream. Surely what's happening in our sister parties, NRM is going to win in many more seats in Parliament.
98.
99, actually. 99%
let me use this
2026.
The last 4 minutes to debate with you, Honorable.
Because we are really, we are in a better position.
What Lydia hasn't answered. So my question to her, and she hasn't given an answer to that one particularly, is how come the NRM activists never get arrested? Why are your activists the ones arrested? Are you rowdy? Are you badly behaved? Are you not law-abiding? What happens?
First of all, I should say, out there we have more numbers than the NRM. Everyone knows the NRM. They rig elections. That's why they find themselves occupying the big seat. Otherwise, if it was a credible, you know.
By the way, Honorable Namuga, if you are lucky in Maogola, you want. But I want to let you know, because me, I'm a national campaigner and go around. There are many constituencies in Uganda where you don't even have candidates. How will you win if you don't have candidates? You are not able to fill the candidates in the whole country.
That is very true. But let's answer the question.
How will you win?
The challenge that Lydia has, she wants to compare a 90-year-old baby with a 3-year-old. That is the challenge that she does have. The thing you should know that at least now, when it comes to numbers, we have more numbers than the NRM. The reason as to why the NRM team is not arrested, it's because they are the ones in power. They misuse the power. Otherwise, you cannot say that the NUP supporters are rowdy. Does that also apply to the FDC? Does it apply to the ANT? They are misusing the space that they do have. They have the maje, as Honorable Anita sometimes said, so they are at liberty to use it in any way they want. But even it is a script that they have, because whenever you imprison people, it's another way of threatening those that would have joined politics. So we know it is one of the tools they use to reduce on the numbers that we do have. But I do call upon whoever is interested in leadership, we should not be threatened by these minor tricks of the NRM. And two, I want to inform the same party too. Normally, when even they imprison our people, it is at times a credit to us. Because when we were in the 2021 elections, with the tear gas and the brutalization that they did on the Honorable Chagulanyi, many people hate the NRM government the more. So I implore you to always do all that, Sagare. Please do it. No, at a stage managing what? Please, whenever you come to us. Continue with the beating. Continue with the beating.
Under the Amnesty Act, which granted to them. It is on that basis that the DPP dropped the charges. The former Prime Minister, who did not apply for amnesty, is undergoing trial at the International Crimes Division of the High Court, and his case is being heard. That position is quite different from a person who has pleaded guilty in a trial. We stop for a break.
Lydia Mwongere mukube, you beats, mukube tiyaga.
Applying for amnesty is conceding the charges. It's just form. Applying for amnesty, you're conceding that
Lydia, how are you?
I'm okay, my sister. How is Zimbabwe?
We are there.
Zimbabwe is our flag.
Zimbabwe is hot. Akalwenzo gamba balonda ncha.
someone was assuring me to
now to vote for your favorite couple. Type capital FM. Leave a space.
Hey,
what's his name?
One vote.
Kabanda and
Lucky.
both of them are sure. There was accused Joel, but that when we were debating over what he was out of the country, now this controversial money bill, both in Bobi and different were out of the country, book it down, look at what page, we're absent. He was also missing in the phone, you can imagine.
But he appeared before the committee and submitted his report. Then House Babu
but he has ever used it against Joel. He has used it against Joel before. Even Joel was out. Actually, if Joel was not there, the money can have your get up.
Decision yeyo never wanajuma abantu signing in nakaseke kirabo waba youth abamu bavule babashir mubende bakiriza ne batusigning nengo laba ntikati bano abava mu area yali abantu ogenda bagamba
they called me in the night about the coffee bill, and I said to them, our discussion is not going to be about the coffee bill, it's going to be about proceedings in Parliament. When we get to discuss it, we'll discuss it on its own. But the proceedings in Parliament, they seem shabby, Welcome back from the break, Lydia. Here, Madame Lydia. here are not about law and order. But why does the NRM government adopt a strict, almost vicious attitude towards what they call street disorder, opposition activities, but have a much more tolerant attitude to things that are more damaging to the country, such as corruption? And if NRM is still work in progress after 40 years, why is a 6-year-old NUP not work in progress? That is John in Nakawa. Dan in Kamweta says, remind Lydia to remember how government works. Whatever is collected in the districts is remitted to the consolidated fund. It is from there that districts are allocated funds by the government in power. So, Honorable Namuga, you were in Parliament, and maybe we are not yet. A long time ago, we discussed rationalization, but this morning I want to discuss how you conducted yourselves in Parliament regarding the rationalization bill. We see more division, shouting at each other, and yet we thought this process was coming to an end. What happened?
No, actually, we were doing our work. There was no division. But you know, whenever you have such a contentious matter, those are expected. I want to thank all colleagues, the 77. I want to thank them for having stood with their people in regard to the coffee bill. And also to employ more colleagues from the NRM.
So the 77
yes.
Lost the bill. What did
actually,
they...
It's not yet lost.
Okay.
We stood with the people.
The 77,
the 77, the 155 decided to stand with the president. Right. Because amidst all threats, you know, if one can know what was inside there, messages, people were being pulled. Some of them had run to our side to come and sign for us.
Let's start from, you know, with a better description.
Yes.
So 159 voted for what?
155 voted that the bill would proceed to the committee stage and the second, yes. Right. Then the 77 were saying we shouldn't proceed. So we lost at that. Okay. But we've not lost on the entire bill. Okay. We've not lost.
So you're part of a 77
yes.
that did not want to proceed to the committee. Why don't you want that to happen?
First of all, I should inform the country that we are against the rationalization of UCDA as a sector. I do admit and agree that the government is very burdened financially, administratively. The administrative costs are too high, but that cannot compromise on services that we do give to the people. Coffee is a strategic key item. All I should say, it is one of our main exporters. Coffee, actually for us, we are supporting the coffee, dairy, and the cotton. But for our colleagues, the speaker said, for you who come from coffee growing areas, leave the dairy to those who own it. Leave the cotton to those who own it. And our friends with the cotton said, for us, we are comfortable with rationalizing. And the cotton went. The dairy, they were comfortable with the dairy, and the dairy went. Now we are saying that much as government wants to save 1.9 trillion from all the sectors, this is not the only area of saving. We can also look into other areas of extravagance. We look for ways of saving money than killing institutions that bring in an income. Look at all the merits that UCDA has, and you also look into the areas of generating locally raised revenues. UCDA would serve better if it is an independent authority than being mainstreamed in the ministry. Everyone was asking, because people think this is government. Yes, so UCDA is government and the ministry is government. Why are you scared of having this back to the ministry? But I told you, I've had an opportunity. At least I was part of the budget committee, and now I'm on the accountability side. PAC, we've been looking at the performance of these entities. I told you, the entities are crippling. They have failed to utilize their budgets, number one. I told you about the key projects that have been in the Ministry of Agriculture. Number one was this issue of the foot and mouth disease. I told you we had millions of doses of vaccines expire in the stores, yet people wanted them out there. You had the issues of the goats. So we're saying, before you rationalize, why don't we prepare these ministries? Why don't you create proper structures so that we can be comforted that when this one becomes a directorate within the ministry, it can serve well? We've had bitter examples, which I thought the NRM government would take as a pilot. Number one, the Ministry of Science, Innovation and Technology, that is now under State House. I'm telling you, the ministry is in shambles. The staff have never, and now it is 3 years and a half. They've never settled. You have REA, the rural electrification agencies. Polls were put all over the country in 2018. Ever since we rationalized the REA, We have never had any single electricity line, distributed to these different parts of the country. So we are saying, we appreciate the financial constraints on the side of government, but that should not form a principle or main reason as to why you should rationalize these agencies. I should inform the country that this decision was hurried. The NRM government did not prepare enough. That is why when you look into their bills, for all the agencies that were supposed to be rationalized, the objectives are general, the same. The defects are the general, the same. They did not get time to look at these entities independently. And also the stakeholder engagement. Yes, in the first place, they consulted, but for this second phase, in line with with Mr. Museveni's directive, there was no a comprehensive stakeholder engagement. But still our worry is, Mr. Museveni has always shown interest in having the coffee to himself. Don't forget the Penetti deal. It has not been buried. It is still there. So Penetti and that MOU, we still remember it. 2, remember the 37 billion that was given to Mr. Rabogo for coffee value chain addition. We are asking, why do you give money to an individual for value addition? Yet we have a ministry and we have UCDA in place. Why don't you use the mainstream to have some of these activities handled? So it has been the intention of government. It has been the intention all the time for all these economic activities that seem to be productive to the people, boosting the incomes of the people. NRM wants to pull it to themselves. But I should say politically, because we are here for both politics and economics, Mr. Museveni is not happy with the people getting money. In any case, because of the monetization of politics, you can no longer give in the regions, coffee growing regions. People made money in this last season, so you cannot bribe somebody with 10,000 when they have the money. So that is also one of the areas that is looking at. Please pull the coffee side that you can monopolize. I'm telling you, the deal is to give coffee to Mr. Rabogo. That is why he was given money for coffee value addition.
This
yes.
Rationalization thing has been on for quite a while.
Yes.
So, and the NRM has had a caucus on it and so on. So were you caught sleeping? I mean, you knew at some point this was bound to happen, that you'd have a discussion on it.
No, but we've always had discussions. In the first place, we all objected to the bill, even including of our colleagues of the NRM. I want to ask initially what changed? Did they bring something different? The only difference is bring the same thing and a different directive. That is where we are. So, and when you I want to warn everyone out there, don't make this coffee thing tribal. Don't make it tribal, because it is circulating all over media. Don't make it tribal. This thing of make sure the Uganda don't get the numbers, we shall not get there. And I'm telling you, we had a press conference yesterday as Uganda caucus. Coffee is not for Uganda. This is for the whole nation. So don't make coffee tribal. Otherwise, when we get there, we shall lose it. And I want to inform whoever is involved, we are not going to entertain this bill anymore on the floor of Parliament, because my colleagues in the legal sector know that you cannot have a legislation that is sectarian, that is tribalistic. So automatically this bill collapses. I'm not a lawyer, but I want to inform the country, the coffee bill has collapsed and we shall not allow it to be read for the second time.
Yes, I don't know how you can stop it though. With stop it though. With
you know, you
stop it though. With
you know, you wait.
Stop it though. With
you know, you wait.
Farmers, and there is a license. Our people export coffee, so it's not a Uganda issue. Actually, I have fabric. It's a national issue. It's an international issue, and it's a historical issue. My community, actually, you cannot talk about Bugisu without mentioning coffee and circumcision. So, and Malewa, 3 things, and mountain goat, 4 things. So anyway, I attended all the caucuses of the NRM that discussed both issues of rationalization, what they call the RAPEX, but also specifically on the issue of the UCDA. Listening to many members of parliament, they were as passionate as we've seen on the floor of the House. But when they were in the caucus, they were convinced that government